Hello everyone, welcome to StraightA, Dawson here, and welcome back to another video. And we're finishing off the free agency grades. I really just haven't got around to doing this last video. It's after the draft now, so things will kind of be different in that perspective, where I kind of know where each team is kind of heading with their direction of their team, pretty much going into next season. But I'm still just going to hold it straight to the free agency signings from all these teams. So for AFC West and NFC West, I'll only hold it to the people acquired on screen and all that good stuff. So I won't be taking into account their draft. We're going to do drafting grades for all of the teams later on. Beside the point here, hope you guys enjoy the video. Please leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and comment any suggestions for future videos below. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. So first off, let's get right into the AFC West, and the first up is the Denver Broncos. You know, my team right here, and just some kind of important signings here. Something that was a little bit more recent that I do want to hit on is John Franklin Myers. I really like the pickup from the Jets there. Very cheap deal though too. So I'm really favorable for that pick. So it's a good one. Actually, probably up just a grade a little bit for my mind. I like Josh Reynolds, reliable, going to be good for that fourth, third kind of receiver kind of guy. Lil Jordan Humphrey re-signed, like to have him on the roster, but he's not too great. Zach Wilson acquired. I mean, he's gonna be a fine backup, especially knowing what we know now. I'm gonna try to keep my grade away from knowing that Denver now has a QB other than Zach Wilson, but it's hard not to kind of take that into account at this point. So I'm going to try to keep it as best I can. They re-signed a couple good people. Justin Stroud is a pretty good player, but they've just picked up some overall good depth pieces. Adam Trotman I really like, so I'm glad he's still on the team. Cody Barton is a good pickup there. PJ Locke is a good person to lock down a little bit for a little bit of money. Otherwise, I mean, it's not crazy. It's not great. Looking at the players you miss Russell Wilson, you miss Jerry Jeudy. Didn't really get anything out of them. Justin Simmons is a pretty big loss, so it's probably going to go into the D+ category for me. And again, this is me considering that Zach Wilson is right now fighting for starting position in that terms of free agency market. I'm putting Bo Nix out of my mind for this one. It didn't add any value replacing Russell Wilson with Zach Wilson. Not great. You picked up some good depth pieces, some good re-signings, but you lost Justin Simmons, you lost Jerry Jeudy, and you really didn't improve in those positions at all. Well, I don't think you've improved in anywhere other category. So I'm going to put you at D+. I don't think you're nearly as bad, and honestly, I probably would more so consider a C. I feel like I feel good about a D+, purely because of the John Franklin Myers trade. Honestly, maybe before it's reaching a D- in terms of my thought process on it, but I like it enough to where I think we got worse. QB got worse, receiver you got worse, secondary you got worse, but you get slightly better in the D-line. You signed some, re-signed some important pieces. So I'd almost consider D- before John Franklin Myers, but now I'll put it to a D+ and feel okay about it because you put some nice little band-aids over some stuff. O-line seems all right and all that good stuff. So I think that's where I'm going to lean, but I could see an argument for D-, but I'm going to D+ purely because of they pick up from John Franklin Myers. I really like John Franklin Myers. Then you got the Kansas City Chiefs, and this has been a really good free agency for them, I think. Re-signing Chris Jones, pretty good. Irv Smith is a nice, reliable tight end behind Travis Kelce. Re-signing Clyde Edwards-Helaire, nice, reliable guy. Marquise Brown, big pickup there in the free agency market. Nobody else like too amazing, but also they don't really lose many people. They lost a couple, nothing receivers. I really don't like any of these guys anyway. MVS, just whatever. Blaine Gabbert's nothing. You didn't really lose anybody. You lost L'Jarius Sneed, so that might put you close to the B-, C area. So I'll put him at B-, I think. I think Marquise Brown's a pretty good band-aid over that bullet wound. And Chris Jones re-signing alone is pretty damn good. So I'm going to put the Chiefs at B-. They did pretty damn good with the free agency. Didn't lose too much, but felt like they're still around the same area. Well, I think they made minor improvements, or at least were able to maintain some improvements long term. They got the Raiders. I actually don't know much about their free agency. I actually really didn't look at it, but it looks like they lost a lot of people. Austin Hooper, didn't like him. Hunter Renfrow, dang, that's been a pretty cornerstone piece for a while. Josh Jacobs, so not too many actually big pieces lost, but they didn't really add anybody worth of value. They did sign up Cody Whitehair, so I'll put him at B-, I think. They didn't really lose anybody, but they signed Christian Wilkins and Cody Whitehair. Actually, I'm kind of considering a B+ right now. I think I'm going to still go B-, right? I mean, they only really lost Josh Jacobs in terms of players that they really need, and they kind of did okay with that. I'm gonna put him at B+ because I think is Cody Whitehair. I mean, Gardner Minshew's also kind of a worthwhile signing considering their QB situation. I think I'm gonna put him B+. I think it's kind of in that weird B-, B+ range. I think Christian Wilkins and Cody Whitehair are both great pickups for this team. I think they put enough enough of a band-aid over the Josh Jacobs bullet wound. I didn't think they lost anything other than Josh Jacobs, and Gardner Minshew's a pretty good band-aid. So I like the Raiders free agency here. I'll put him at B+. Then you got the Chargers. Oh man, I already predict I'm going to be giving them a D- or an F, because I mean, look at this. I mean, Eckler, say what you will about him, I still think he's fine enough to keep around. Keenan Allen, the fact you got nothing from him, pretty much. Mike Williams, same case there. Actually, no, he didn't get traded. He just got re-signed somewhere else. Gerald Everett, I think, was reliable. Will Clapp is just okay. Jokes aside, he's actually a pretty decent fucking player. Fucking Eric Kendricks gone. Kenneth Murray gone. Jalen Hawkins gone. They got some serious losses here, and they fucking added J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Sure. Will Dissly and Hayden Hurst. Sure. But who else? I mean, this has got to be a D-, right? I mean, honestly, I'm going to give him an F. I think I'm giving it an F. I think this is probably one of the worst free agencies I've seen, just because of the people they lost, depth-wise. And they had, like, Austin Eckler, sure, you can call this one probably an even trade there. Then you go down from Gerald Everett, and it's hard going down from Gerald Everett. I think he's reliable, I think he's good, but I mean, starter-wise, it's hard to go down from him. And then you get nothing else to replace any of the other guys. I feel like you gotta go F, right? Because I mean, none of these guys are like too amazing. Like, sure, you got re-signed Gilman. I guess that's pretty all right. Bozeman is okay, I guess. But I feel like I'm just making stuff up at that point. I mean, you lost all your receiving core. You lost all of that. You lost some nice little pieces on defensive line. It's got to be an F. Like, I just don't like it. Like, I don't like any of this. And I hate to be hard on the Chargers here, because I like J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards just fine. But again, you're replacing Austin Eckler, so you can call that even. Is it too? Maybe it's D-. Maybe it's a D-. Maybe it's a D-. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh, because these at least replace the tight end. These at least replace the running back. So you lost your receivers, and you lost a couple good defensive players. So is that really worth an F? Probably not. I'll give them D-. I'll stand back a little bit and say, all right, let's kind of ease up a little bit. It makes me actually feel better about the Broncos D+, and now in the Chargers D-, because this is clearly a worse free agency than the Broncos. But man, I don't know. I consider an F, and I wouldn't be mad if anybody said an F. But I'll give him a D-. I'll kind of hesitate a little bit just because. And you know what? Keenan Allen, Michael Williams are a little bit older, so I'll give him a little bit more of a leeway there. So we're going to go D- final grade for the Chargers. And that was the AFC West. Pretty quick, pretty easy, pretty painless. Let's get right into the NFC West. In the NFC West, we have a lot to go over here, especially starting off the Cardinals here. They didn't lose too many people. Lost Rondale Moore and Marquise Brown, so that really hurt in the receiver front. But DJ Humphries probably a big loss there. Antonio Hamilton, decent loss in the secondary. But otherwise, I mean, they picked up some decent people. I mean, more so depth-wise. I mean, Tristan Cullen helps out with the guard position there. Man, it's kind of like they did nothing, honestly. Maybe I just put a C. I think they added enough guys depth-wise to technically make them decently good, but they also definitely lost in the receiver end. But I can't really say they lost much else other than that. And they picked up Chris Moore. Well, I think they probably got slightly better in depth-wise everywhere. I'll put them at a C. I think Cardinals are a safe C. I don't think they got worse. I don't think they got better. I think the receivers probably hurt a little bit, but also I recognize that this is probably enough additions for me to feel like, okay, maybe their defensive line and their offensive line probably just got better from this whole offseason, but it doesn't look like it's significantly better. I don't see anybody. Justin Jones, that's somebody who I recognize now. Evan Brown, actually, somebody. Now I'm looking a little bit longer. It is a couple people that I do recognize being decently good, but are they game changers? I don't think so. I'll keep them at a C. Cardinals at a C is pretty safe to me. You got the Rams. Picked up Jimmy G. I didn't even know that. I don't think or at least remembered that. Kevin Dotson's pretty damn good pickup. Jonah Jackson, I like that pickup, little small one. Tre'Davious White, very low key kind of signing there. Cameron Curl, another really good. I like that. I like this offseason with good offensive line gain, secondary gain. Didn't lose like too much in anything else, didn't look like they added much more, I should say, other than that. But I mean, Aaron Donald's your biggest loss by far. Jonah Williams pretty sucky to lose. Otherwise, I mean, you got better. I mean, you got decently better. B+. I'm thinking like a little B+, maybe B-. I'll put I'm gonna be B+. I think I like the four pieces on defense that were put: Cameron Curl, Tre'Davious White, Kevin Dotson, and Jonah Jackson. I think I like all four of them. And you only lost Aaron Donald. Now, granted, Aaron Donald's a pretty good pick, or pretty big loss, I should say. So, Rams, I'm kind of going that B-, B+ route right now. Do I think this is really a B+ kind of pickup, though? I think it kind of is, though, because they needed more. They needed to patch up the D-line, which they kind of did. Obviously, can't replace it fully. But then you get the corners. I'll put B-. I think this alone, Aaron Donald loss is a big loss. I'll put them at B-. I think they improved, but like maybe not by a crazy amount, because you could kind of consider defensive line and offensive line maybe being. I think the Aaron Donald loss is probably worth these two players, if not a little bit of them, and so B- seems a little bit of a safe kind of bet for the Rams. I think they probably need to get better in a couple of more areas. Probably, well, actually, then again, they got better in the secondary, which is what they needed to do. Defensive line, they didn't really patch up though, so I'll go B-. I'll stay B-. They got the San Francisco 49ers, and I actually don't know who they lost this offseason. They really didn't lose anybody. It looks like Eric Armstead and Chase Young, which Eric Armstead's the only real big loss there. I mean, Chase Young, I think, is still talented, but it wasn't a big loss. In terms of gains, Devondre Campbell, I guess, is fine. Leonard Floyd's pretty okay. Is this a C? Is this just a C? I think it's just a C. I'll put D+ just because I think I like Randy Gregory, Chase Young, and Eric Armstead pretty well. Meanwhile, they only really gain like Jordan Elliott. I like him. He's fine. Devondre Campbell. I'll go D+. I don't know. I don't feel strongly about it, but I also don't feel like I hate it. So I'll go D+ just because I do think they lost 3 pretty good players, but also I recognize they're in a pretty good position to lose those players. So D+ will go. Seattle Seahawks. We'll just go with them. See who they picked up. Sam Howell. Interesting. Didn't know that he went there. Noah Fant re-signed. Interesting. Leonard Williams re-signed. Jerome Baker signed. Okay, so Jerome Baker's like the only big new signing I see that's like I'm excited about. I mean, Chenault is pretty alright too, a good little pickup. But who'd they lose? Quandre Diggs, pretty big one. Devin Bush, Jordan Brooks, Will Dissly. It's fine. I don't know if that's a big loss there. Man, do I go D+ here? They're definitely worse than a C, but is it D+ worth or D- worth? I think it's just D+ worth. I don't think they lost to Bobby Wagner, Devin Bush, Jordan Brooks, those 3 guys right there, kind of the big ones for me to note. And meanwhile, you got the big pickups being Jerome Baker and Leonard Williams, I guess, or re-signings at least. So I'll probably go D+, but man, I'm not too sure because those are 3 pretty big guys to lose. Jordan Brooks, they lost a lot of linebackers, and the only replacement they have is Jerome Baker. Puts you at D-, but everything else probably goes up to a D+. So I'll put the Seahawks at D+. I'm not too mad at any of their losses or any of their things other than maybe Devin Bush and Jordan Brooks. I think Bobby Wagner's okay to let go, and granted Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs. I'm gonna put him at D-. I'll put him at D-. I didn't realize the secondary actually got hurt that much, and they really didn't replace it any. So I'm gonna go D- here for the free agency signings. But this is like a stronger D-. I'm not gonna give them too much crap here. It's just that they just didn't retain their couple biggest stars, but it was okay to move on from them. One of those understandable things. So we'll go D- and stick with that with the Seahawks. And on screen now will be the kind of recap for these NFC. I'm sure I put it for the AFC too. Didn't think I said it, but whatever. But hopefully you enjoyed those grades. And I'll probably go ahead and do an overall tier list, kind of recapping all the thoughts that I had with all the grades that I put and going forward. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you guys later.